G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kaitlyn and I'm here today. You guys have seen her vlogs before. If you haven't, you are really missing out. I'm here with Ashley Faye.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Another American. Ashley actually lives in Hobart right now, so if you guys love seeing actual vlogs out and about in Australia, I know you guys get on me all the time to go check out places in Australia. If you want to see Hobart.
My comments, it's the same thing. It's like, do you ever leave Hobart?
Guys, her footage is amazing. Go check her out. Obviously, she will be linked down below. Her YouTube channel, her Instagram,
sweet. Oh my god,
TikTok, the whole nine.
I'm literally gonna start tearing up and we're just in the intro.
So today we are doing culture shocks. We are doing 5 culture shocks on my channel, 5 culture shocks on Ashley's channel. So you guys, I know there are so many differences, not just between America and Australia, but between Sydney and Hobart, between New South Wales and Tasmania.
Like the amount of comments I've gotten where I like say any opinion about Australia, and like, well, you're not in real Australia. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, she's not.
Literally starts a war. Literally the thumbnail is us like hating each other, being like, ew, she's not from real Australia.
Oh my god, she's from Sydney. Yeah.
Literally.
So we are going to share 5 culture shocks in this video, 5 culture shocks in Ashley's video. So grab a Becky, grab a cuppa, and let's jump right into these culture shocks.
Well, your intros are so Australian.
Alright, so first thing on my list is tipping, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, we already know, like, you're supposed to tip in America, you don't tip in Australia, but even 7 months later, I still feel guilty. Like, there's this inherent American sense of guilt not tipping the waiters or the waitresses when we go out, not tipping your hairstylist, not tipping a taxi driver.
I haven't gotten my hair done here yet, but that's so true. I'm used to tipping my hairstylist. Yeah. Like, if you don't tip your hairstylist, it's like, ooh, like,
and they remember, like, you do not go back to the same hairstylist in America if you did not tip them the first time. And also, if you're going to America, tip the person who washes your hair too, if it's not the person who cut and styled.
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot that we do that too. Because your hairstylist will, you know, cut and color your hair, but then a lot of the times it's also expected that you tip just the person who washes, like, shampoos your hair. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's like a whole thing.
I see that.
So yeah, tipping. I don't know. I would say, like, I don't feel guilty necessarily, but it's still, like, a weird process for sure. Like, when honestly, it's just really nice to not have to tip, because I also am like, okay, I know they're getting paid a lot better here.
Yeah.
I know the wages are obviously a lot better. I'm not going to get super political, but so it, like, makes me not feel as bad. Whereas in the States with, like, the wages and everything, like, yes, I would 10,000% feel guilty.
Oh, yeah. So I remember going, like, this was back when I was in college, had, like, a little part-time job, and me and a couple friends went to go get dinner one night, and we realized we had overspent and didn't have enough for the tip. We were literally pulling change out of our pockets. One of the guys drew, like, a cute little picture on the back of the receipt. Somebody wrote, like, I owe you. Like, we did everything we could, and we only ended up giving the guy, like, a 5% tip because that was all we had, because we were stupid and in college and couldn't do math.
Well, that's the thing, is, like, you think you have enough money to go out for drinks, whatever, and then you're like, oh wait, a tip. And then with the pandemic and everything, I feel like the tipping, have you noticed that in the States the tipping margins become a lot higher?
Yeah.
Like, growing up, my parents taught me, like, okay, if they do a really good job, you tip them 10%. So it's like, okay, completely fair. And then I was, like, in college or whatnot, and they were like, okay, like 15%. And I'm like, okay, that's fair, inflation. But then with the pandemic, it's like, oh, if you don't tip 20%, like, you're a jerk.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, you kind of get, like, dirty looks, and it's just like, that's still, you know, it's like a mixed thing, because it's, like, a lot of money to fork over, but at the same time, like, they do deserve it.
Yeah, and then remember, there's also tax on top of it. So if you're eating dinner,
oh my god,
you have an 8% tax on top of it. So if you have, like, $100 dinner, you have an $8 tax on top of it, and now you owe $20 for a tip. So your $100 dinner just turned into $128.
Literally, like, the amount of times that I've gone out to dinner with my parents, like, even just this past time I went back to the States, and my dad will be like, oh, this is, like, the tip I'm thinking, like, what do you think? And then, you know, I look at the totals and I'm like, wait, how did it get from A to Z in, like, 2 seconds? then, like, I come back here and I'm just like, oh, right, okay, I don't have to worry about tip. Tax is mostly included. I think there was one place in Hobart where GST wasn't included.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Okay, if you ever go to Hobart, I need to tell you the places not to go to and to go to. But there was this one restaurant, and like we were trying to split the bill, and the server was like, "Are you gonna split the GST too?" And we're like, "What? The GST isn't included."
Who doesn't include the GST?
I was so weird. Anyway, side note, but
oh god.
So going along with tipping, a big thing that I've noticed is cafe culture is very different. I'm a big coffee snob. If you watch my content, or especially like on Instagram and other platforms, I love to review coffee and whatnot. And going along with tipping, you know, it's in the States, it's custom that, you know, you get like say a $5-6 cup of coffee, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna normally tip at least $1, and then there's tax included, and then you're paying sometimes like $8 or $9 for a cup of coffee, and you're just like, well, okay.
Imagine $8 or $9 for Starbucks coffee, you guys.
Or like the comments I get where people are like, oh, well, you're American, like you only drink Starbucks, and I'm like, what Americans are you talking to? I'm so sorry. But yeah, cafe culture in general, tipping is obviously a big thing, but just in general, I've found that the standards here are a lot higher for coffee, which I'm sure doesn't really come as much of a surprise. No shame to your 7-Eleven coffee. But like, for example, I just find that the training specifically for baristas at different cafes are so much higher over here. Like I can even go to a random airport cafe or a gas station, petrol station. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Petrol station.
They're gonna come at you.
Literally. Cafe, and the coffee won't be horrible. Whereas in the States, it's like you would never drink gas station cafe.
Oh my god, no. Gas station cafe coffee is like, it tastes like dirt that's run through like a coffee.
Yeah, and it's like sat out like all day, whereas here, since espresso is much bigger and pretty much everything's espresso based, I just found that just the overall standards are a lot higher, because also like, for example, like depending on where you are, like in Melbourne, like if you are an amazing coffee shop, like you probably won't be in business too long. So I've just found that the standards are a lot higher. I don't know if like you've noticed that like overall you've had better coffee. I don't know if you miss your Starbucks coffee.
No, I don't miss Starbucks that much, believe me. I will take a 7-Eleven latte over
I didn't even know they
coffee.
did lattes.
So, funny enough, these 7-Elevens over here, they don't have those big drip.
See, that's what I'm imagining. Like, when you told me at lunch, oh yeah, I get coffee at 7-Eleven, I was like,
oh, no wonder you were horrified. Like, oh my god, this girl has no taste at all.
I like gave her a look and I was like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Nope, they got those fancy little machines where you put your cup underneath and you pick if you want a latte or a cappuccino or something.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, it's still decent coffee. Like, it's not going to be cafe quality, which is one of the reasons I was so excited.
No wonder she like
took a cup of coffee earlier.
She took a sip and she's like, oh, this is so good.
We went to lunch. Oh my god, the coffee, I liked it. She did not at all, but I've been so conditioned to drink like 7-Eleven lattes at this point.
I'm just so picky with coffee. Like I had some amazing coffee earlier today, and so we got to lunch and they barely put it down on the table, and I was like, okay, like the microphone's off, there's no contrast, like she ordered a latte, I ordered a flat white, and they made it the same. Like, that's a red flag. And I'm like going down the list, and she's like, but I thought this was amazing.
See, and most Americans would not know the difference. I think we're so conditioned to things like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, where you wouldn't notice the difference between a flat white or a latte.
Well, flat whites, aren't really a thing. But, like, Starbucks recently started throwing in their flat white, which is interesting.
Yeah, which is not very good.
Yeah, interesting.
So, the third culture shock is drink sizes over here in Australia.
And food sizes as well.
Yes, oh my god. So, I feel like so many people know that America has huge portion sizes, but one of the things that shocked me over here were drink sizes. So, if you go to, like, say, a small little cafe and you get a large takeaway latte, their large is the size of an American small, for the most part.
Yeah, it definitely depends, but it's like so funny you bring that up, because like literally on my flight from LA, I ordered a large latte, and it was like, I wish I was kidding, it was like something like this big, like it was massive. I think it was over 20 ounces. I don't know that in milliliters, I'm so sorry. I'm like over here talking in like our weird conversion system. I feel like that's a whole other thing.
Oh my god, the metric system. Oh, lordy.
Literally. But yeah, no, I could definitely see that. Like, you'll get a large coffee and it's like this big, which is great for me because I don't like a lot of milk in my coffee. But I mean, or you just think like Dunkin' Donuts, like you could get a cold brew that was like that big.
Oh my god, guys, I will insert a picture somewhere of what a Dunkin' large iced coffee looks like. That is like 4 coffees, like 4 Australian iced coffees poured into one. It is insane the size of these things. Like, you get so much ice in your drinks over here in the States too. I feel like you don't.
Yeah, that's why when specifically at Dunkin' Donuts, I ask for little ice.
Yeah, smart tip. If you're ever going to the States and you want to try a Dunkin' Donuts because you're desperate for caffeine but can't find a good coffee pot.
Which is better than Starbucks. In my opinion.
That's not. Yeah, ask for light ice in any sort of ice drink you get over in the States because you will get 2/3 a cup of ice.
But I am going to say, I'm going to cut you off there. If you do get like an iced latte or something that's espresso based, like if you ask for less ice, you aren't going to get more coffee. You'll just get more milk.
Yeah.
So if it's like a cold brew, cold drip, filter, iced coffee situation, yes, that is a great tip. Or for sodas too. Like if you get like a soda out, I feel like they'll just like pour on the ice.
Yeah, if you go to like any of the like fast food places or something like that, or if you go through a drive-thru, you're going to get a cup that is mostly ice. So yeah, not only cup sizes, but the amount of ice you get in said.
Literally, we're getting onto the specifics here. Jeez. But just like the food in general too. Like we were chatting earlier, and it's like I remember I was so excited because I'm dairy free, and coming to the Australian Domino's, I knew they had vegan cheese. I was like, oh my gosh, I can eat pizza, like fast food pizza. Like this is great. Because I don't know why American Domino's don't have dairy free cheese.
They don't.
Like no, you would think that they would be up with the times.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen gluten-free so many things in the States right now. I'm surprised that they don't have vegan cheese at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. Or maybe select ones do. But literally, I ordered a large, and then I saw the pizza was this big. I was like, what? And then I tried to explain to my flatmates. I was like, yeah, no, that's an American small. Like, if you go to Domino's in the States, it's a small.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no, that's a large here. And I was like, that's the perfect portion for me. Like, I'm not complaining. But, like, at the same time, I'm like, wow.
So what's this small? Is that like the little old school personal pan pizzas from Pizza Hut? Like, is that a small?
I don't even know. Because now I'm thinking, I'm like, I've never, at least at Domino's in the States, I've never gotten a small. I've gotten a medium. And those are, you know, a bit smaller. But I don't know if they make a small pizza.
I don't know. On the topic of pizza, guys, margarita pizza. I have a vendetta against Australian margarita pizza.
You're just going to throw in every vendetta you have in existence. Like, just right here, just straight tunneling.
But guys, margarita pizza, oh my god. It's a cheese pizza over here in the U.S. Or over here in the U.S.
What country are we in?
I can talk.
No.
So over here in Australia, a margarita pizza is just a regular cheese pizza. It's what we call a cheese pizza in the U.S.
I don't think I've noticed that much about like what they call a pizza here.
Really?
I don't know if like in Tasmania they just call it whatever. I honestly don't really pay attention much.
Yeah. So once in a while, if you find like an actual like authentic Italian place, they'll do a proper margarita pizza.
I know what you're talking about though, because there are places that do a margarita, and yeah, they do it just as a cheese pizza. Whereas like you think like classic Italian food, and you're like, oh yeah, like fresh mozzarella with like, you know, it's not like a whole like melted cheese situation.
Yeah.
So like I know what you mean. I just can't think. I don't know if I've seen that in Tasmania.
Are there a lot of pizza places in Tasmania?
No. There's like bar pizza places mainly, like, but there's one pizza place I can think of, but it's like a higher end pizza place. I can't think of like, I think maybe there's like one traditional pizza place, but also I'm just speaking for Hobart.
Yeah. Whereas like obviously Sydney, it's huge. It's a massive area. So if you come anywhere, especially if you come like sort of like the CBD and Bondi and whatnot, you're gonna find those really slightly pricey but more authentic pizza places. But if you're like me and you're out in Western Sydney, which is like right next to the boonies, a margarita pizza is just a cheese pizza. Like you're not gonna find authentic Italian like pizza places out in the middle of Western Sydney. For the most part, you might find like authentic Indian food, authentic Thai food and whatnot. And obviously there's fish and chip shops, but you're not going to find like an authentic Italian pizza place.
And so going along with different styles of pizza, which clearly she's so very heated about. One topic that I'm super heated about is the Mexican food situation. I can't speak for New South Wales and mainland, but the Mexican food situation in Tasmania is really bad.
It's probably just as bad up here, to be honest. Like, the
Really?
best so there's probably a couple really good Mexican restaurants, like, within Sydney, like, within the CBD and whatnot. There's probably a few, but for just general Mexican food, like, the best you can get is, like, Mad Mex, which is, like, Chipotle.
Okay, so I had, is it Guzman and Gizmo? Gizmo,
Yes.
Guzman, something. I liked them better than Mad Mex because we had Mad Mex in New Zealand, and I hate Zambrero. Just like no flavor. But that's all we have in Hobart is Zambrero. And going back to the portion sizes, is like, you know how at Chipotle you can like get a bowl or something, and depending on how they fill it, you can get like 2 meals out of it.
Yeah.
Whereas in Zambrero, it's like you're paying for the cost of quote unquote 2 meals you would in the States, but you're getting 1.
Oh. That's a bummer.
Yeah, but I've had some horrible tacos and everything in Hobart.
Yeah.
There's like a couple places I haven't tried, but
Yeah. But on top of finding, like, good Mexican restaurants, it's tough to find Mexican ingredients. Like, imagine trying to find things like ancho chilies and whatnot to make a basic Mexican recipe.
I've only seen like the big brands in like Woolies and stuff is like Old El Paso, and it's like the international food section.
Yeah. And it's like you get, like, just the generic little salsas and whatnot. Like,
Oh, there's like 2 kinds of salsas.
oh.
Or like 3 salsas I found at least at my local Woolies. And it's like, I'm like, oh, okay, which one am I trying this?
The only place I've been able to find, like, Mexican ingredients is actually through places like USA Foods, places that'll actually ship in American foods. But of course, you're paying like 4 times what you would at the American grocery store to get it.
Customs, and I can't even imagine shipping.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we could do a whole video on Australian shipping.
Oh god.
Shipping times.
Oof.
But on the plus side, there's a lot more authentic Asian cuisine here.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a pretty decent trade-off as far as I'm concerned, because, like, I never had Indian food where I was at in Philadelphia. Like,
There's no Indian food where I'm from either.
Yeah. It's like, it's just not a thing, or if it is, it's like the most basic, generic, like, you'd get better stuff out of a frozen packet from the supermarket than what you get at these places. So actually trying Indian food and trying it over here, like,
So
I
good.
love Indian food now.
Indian food's so good, yeah, because like then you go back to the States and it's like, where's the Indian food?
Oh, it's okay, we'll go get Mexican.
No, literally, it's like, well, because like at least I've noticed in the States, it's like, okay, you got for Mexican or Italian. Whereas here, it's like, where's the Mexican? Where's the Italian?
Yes, oh my god, that hadn't occurred to me, but yeah, now it's like, okay, do we want Indian, do we want Thai, or do we want
Korean,
Chinese?
Vietnamese,
Fish and chips, if you know a decent fish and chips place.
literally.
But, like, that's it. Like, you don't go out for Italian food or Mexican food.
Whereas that's like
Yeah.
primarily in the States. At least I've noticed in the Northeast.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of Mexican and lots of Italian food.
Yes. Oh my god, I miss good Italian food.
I had a lot of good pizza before I came over.
I'm jealous.
And bagels.
Oh god, bagels. I
Yeah.
miss everything bagels. That's, like, I actually do miss everything bagels.
Do you like
from
egg
McDonald's.
everything bagels?
Yes. Oh my god.
My audience will know the whole bagel situation, but if not, I chat about it on my channel. But I got into a tiffy with Australians about their bagels, and a lot of people got very, very, very upset. Kind of made Daily Mail headlines.
Yeah. I thought that was awesome. I'm like, oh my god, you're actually, like, you're kind of famous now for pissing off a bunch of
Literally, like, one of the article headlines was like, American angers Australians.
So if you guys want to see the whole Bagelgate scandal, trust me, it is worth it. Go check out our channel. Again, it is a link down below for you guys.
Oh
it's so funny.
It's just comical how it escalated, because it was like, you know, similar to what we're doing right now. We're just casually chatting about differences.
Yeah.
And I was just saying how I didn't like Australian bagels, and then it just became a whole thing.
And it's over bagels. Like, I could see if you insulted Vegemite, if you had insulted meat pies or Tim
like
Tams.
something like really Australian.
Yeah, then you'd be like, okay, that cliche American who doesn't like it, but they're bagels.
Yeah.
Guys, they're bagels.
It's bread. It's just bread.
And it's American, so, like, we actually know what we're talking about. And the last culture shock that we have is just how different the big stores are over here compared to America. So Target, Kmart, Big W, they are so different than what they are in the States. I feel like they're so much smaller over here in Australia, and I feel like they're a lot more tailored. Like, I remember going to Targets in the States, and there were little grocery stores, there were little pharmacies, there were Starbucks. I know. There was Starbucks. It was the best part of the Target trips for me.
When I was like younger, like, yeah, it was like nostalgic, you know.
Yeah.
It's like you go to Target, you get your Starbucks.
You get your Starbucks, you walk around, you spend way more money than you're supposed to. But I feel like over here, there's less of a selection, and the stores in general are a lot smaller. Like, even Kmart's are so different than the Kmart's that I remember back in the States before Kmart shut down.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure the States it shut down.
It did, probably for good reason, because I remember how dirty those Kmart's were in the States.
Yeah. No, it's interesting that you brought that up, because I feel like it's hard for me, because at least in Hobart, like, all of the Kmart's and quote-unquote Targets are all, that I've been to, are all city ones. So I don't know if, are there ones that, like, aren't quote-unquote city style, like, in, like, shopping malls and, like, grocery store plazas?
So there are, I don't think they're like the huge anchor stores that you'd find in like the typical American shopping malls. Like if you go to an American shopping mall, you'd have like the 4 big stores and then a bunch of little stores. I feel like Australian shopping malls aren't set up the same where you have like 4 or 5 big stores. It's just like a massive amount of stores, and like I've seen Target and Big W integrated in kind of the same areas where the small shops would be.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up, because like I'm thinking of this one big shopping plaza just outside of Hobart in particular, and it's like literally you have, in the whole shopping plaza, you have Woolies, Coles, Kmart, and Big W all in one spot. And like the fact that they even think about putting Coles and Woolies, like, one's on top of each other.
It's like that at the Blacktown West Point too. You literally have Target, you have Big W, you have Woolies under it, and then if you go like across the first floor, you have Kohl's.
Like, they're not even worried about competition.
No.
It's like you go to Kohl's for this, you go to Woolies for that. Whereas in the States, I feel like it's very like, oh no, this parking lot is for Target only. Yeah, see, I didn't even think about that.
That's funny though. I wonder if it's like, so Australians, let us know in the comments down below, is it because like, you know, there are certain things you're going to get in Kohl's, there's certain things you're going to get in Woolies, so it makes sense to have everything combined like that? Plus, if you think about shopping, like, let's say grocery shopping, you just have Kohl's, Woolies, and Aldi for the most part, whereas over in the States, you had so
And it's
many
by region
shops.
too.
Yeah.
It's by region too, where it can get quite overwhelming.
Yeah. Like, we do not have Acme's and ShopRite's over
Stop
in
and
California.
shops. Yeah, like it's very northeast. But then yeah, in California it's gonna have like what, they have like Ralph's and
yeah, I've heard of Food
they have
Lion.
I haven't heard of that one. Or in Maine they have what's it called? Hannaford's.
I've never heard of that one.
Like in New England they have Hannaford's.
Yeah.
So and they have like another one too where I'm just like, I don't, or there's Safeway.
Safeway, forgot
Yeah.
about Safeway.
Like it's in one region but it's not all around the States.
Yeah, so like there's no possible like loyalty to grocery stores and whatnot because there's so many, they're so different, and you don't get the same ones throughout the country in the States, whereas here everybody goes to a Woolies, a Kohl's, or an Aldi.
Yeah, like literally I went to Kohl's yesterday and I got my favorite cookies. Because I was like, well, I know they're Kohl's cookies, I know they're gonna be there.
Yeah, that's fine. I already put in like my little order for Woolies is going to be delivered tomorrow morning because I didn't want to risk it getting delivered this morning and then them having to delay it and me not being able to leave on time because I'm waiting for my Woolies order to come in. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that is it for this video, you guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit the like and subscribe button down below to join the little Amer-Australian family over here. I post on Mondays and normally Thursdays about the differences between American and Australian culture and the overall process of learning to live down under. Don't forget to check out Ashley's channel. Again, everything will be linked down below, and don't forget to check out our other video about 5 more culture shocks between New South Wales and Tasmania.
It's gonna get heated, guys.
Oh yeah, if you thought this one was good, wait till you see what's on our channel.
I was gonna say, I'm kind of worried.
Bye guys.
Thanks so much for having me.